Welcome to Chronic Briefs episode 4. Yes, 4 whole episodes. I can't believe we made it this far, which brings me to our topic for this episode, limitations. Yes, those of us who deal with chronic illness and disability live with limitations. What did he say? Surely not. I don't live with limitations. Look, before we even jump in, I think we all have to be honest with each other, okay? Chronic illness and disability puts limitations on what we can do. Sorry, it's just the truth. Now, here's the thing. I say limitations, and most normal, non-chronically ill or disabled people hear the word handicapped, right? You know it, don't deny it, but that's not really what limitations means to someone who is chronically ill and/or disabled. So we're going to break it down in our inimitable style. Okay, first and most obvious is physical limitations. Now, the perfect way for me to illustrate this is by telling you that I am 100% incontrovertibly sure that my hands, these hands right here, not only have a mind of their own, but that mind despises me. These hands right here, right? I know. They seem perfectly nice. Wonderful to see you, sir. Yes, quite. Would you like some tea? Yes, quite. Right? Perfectly polite and British, right? They could never do anything that would be considered awful or a crime against humanity. But don't let their posh accents and fancy clean nails fool you. These are actually two killers grafted to the ends of my arms, whose only goal is to make my life a living hell, full of spilled drinks, dropped pills, and insanely random punches in my own face. I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. Have you ever been punched in the face by your own hands? Yes, it's kind of like you go to reach for, I don't know, a pencil, right? A pencil, instead of picking up the pencil, right? You know, like that. Your hand decides to do this instead. Oh, jeez, oh. Seriously, these hands, they hate me. They spasm left and right all the time, just doing whatever they want, whenever they want. And God forbid there's a glass of liquid anywhere within a 5-mile radius. It's like this hand is a radar that detects unsecured drinks, beep, beep, beep. And this hand is a heat-seeking missile whose only purpose is to knock said drink over. Honestly, I know, it sounds ridiculous, right? But I have been standing at my bedside, water on the nightstand, in my commemorative Star Wars cup, as like any normal person, and I have Mr. Righty here suddenly out of nowhere use the force to knock it over, spilling water into the open drawer of my nightstand. Yes, just like in that movie Evil Dead 2. Yeah, got into my hand and it went bad, so I lopped it off at the wrist. Well, excluding the last part about the lopping. Yeah, that's almost exactly what I deal with on a regular basis, and I'm not alone. Now look, I know some of you who aren't disabled might say, oh, I get it now. Unfortunately, it's impossible to understand what it's like to tell a part of your body to do a thing and then have that body part not do that thing, or do something else entirely, or punch you in your own face. Yeah, it's frustrating, but even more so, it really plays havoc with your mental state, which brings us to the second part of limitations, the mental aspect. Now, some of you, I'm sure, are saying, Dan, we all have mental limitations that we have to wrap our head around. I wanted to be on America's Got Talent, but apparently belching the alphabet while drinking a glass of milk isn't family-friendly enough for TV. Yes, well, dairy belching aside, there is a little bit of difference from your body not doing a thing that anyone else healthy in your position should be able to do. For instance, part of the reason I even thought about this topic is because recently I was invited to play an online game with a group of new friends. Now, I was new to the game, so of course, not to embarrass myself or cause the team harm, I said, I'm going to practice so hard and I'm going to get so good that I don't embarrass anyone. Yay, go me! Yay, team! Hard work and dedication wins the day as always. So that's what I did. I looked up videos on how to practice the game and how to play, and I started doing it. Now, I'm a realist. I know I'm never going to be playing quarterback in the NFL or the CFL or in the kids' flag football game down the block. You know what I mean. I'm saying I get it. Age aside, I'm not ever going to be able to throw, kick, or slide any ball, puck, stone, pin, or shuttlecock into any kind of net, hole, basket, goal, or target. Fine. I wasn't planning on it anyway. Trust me. But an online game? Why wouldn't I be able to do that, right? A couple of keys on the keyboard, moving the mouse a little, telling other complete strangers what they're doing wrong, easy peasy, right? Well, my body had other plans. You see, Righty here, the bad one, yeah, he didn't want to cooperate, and no matter how hard I practiced, I had to come to the realization that it wasn't age that was defeating me. It was just my hand, my mouse hand, after years of chronic illness damage, wasn't equipped to make the fast moves and fine adjustments that I needed to be competent at this particular game, no matter how hard I practiced. And I was crushed, heartbroken. I still am when I think about it. I have to accept, with the evidence staring me right in the face, that my illness, my stupid, often, horrible disability that I really thought I could mitigate with enough resolve and just pure grit, if need be, had said, nope, nuh-uh, no way, you are not going to win this one, buddy. And now I have to have that in my brain as I watch everyone on the team do better than me, despite the fact that I want it so bad I can taste it. There's absolutely nothing I can do to make it happen. That's the mental side of limitations of living with chronic illness and disability. You have to somehow accept the fact that everything you've been told about working hard and wanting something and overcoming all means nothing, nada, nix, in the face of disability. Yeah, something as ridiculously simple as moving a mouse quickly on the screen has thwarted me and made me face the awful fact that I'll never be able to do that thing that everyone else there takes for granted. Right now, if that isn't mental torment, then I don't know what is. Limitations are not only physical when it comes to disability, they're mental as well, and wrapping your head around the mental aspect of limitation, it's like trying to fit an elephant inside of an elephant-proof shipping container? I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything good for this one, but you know what I mean. The worst part about it all, though, is that stress, depression, getting upset, it affects the physical aspect of chronic illness. So you basically get stuck inside the worst carnival ride ever. Yeah, it's called the Throbotron, right? And it's manned by a teenager on his phone who couldn't care less about your anxiety. And the more upset you get, the faster it spins and faster it spins until it spits you out face down on the ground. And the kid running the ride says, "I okay?" "No, Cody, I'm not okay. But please go ahead and post this on Instagram. #blessed. As you can see, that word, limitations, it means more to people who are chronically ill and disabled than it does to most regular folks. Throw in the fact that most chronically ill and disabled people I know are workaholics, right? They don't want to give up, and they hate having to admit defeat, and you have a recipe for the perfect storm of depression, disappointment, and heartbreak. And the Throbotron rides again with do-nothing Cody at the helm. Yikes. Anyway, that's it for episode 4 of Chronic Briefs. Yes, thanks for tuning in, and as always, you know what I'm going to say, but it's more important now than ever with everything that's going on in our country. Yes, be kind. Be kind to everyone. Be kind. Rewind to everyone. No, that doesn't make much sense, but whatever. You know what I mean. Be kind, rewind, keep on keeping on, and we'll talk soon. Disabled to ride the Throbotron. Thank you. I'm Jay.